The card reading that I'm going to do today is on the subject of, or the question of really, ways to navigate darkness. So basically, if you think about an area of darkness in your life that you are struggling with right now, whether that be a situation at work, a situation within a relationship, a situation within your emotional, your physical health, maybe an energy or an entity that you feel is kind of like attached to you or your property, or a place that you have to regularly frequent, any kind of form of darkness that you feel is in your life right now, and is blocking you and stopping you from being your best self and reaching your highest potential. That's what this reading will delve into and deal with. I'm using a different deck today. Another one of my favourite decks is called the Dreaming Way Tarot. Really beautiful deck. It's by Rome Troy. And these images are really stunning, and it is a deck based on the Rider-Waite deck. And the images are just really beautiful. Lots of strong female characters in quirky clothes, and yeah, I hope you'll like it. I think you'll like it. So shuffling the cards now. Let's make sure we start with a clean, fresh deck. So anytime you're doing a reading yourself, either for yourself or for someone else, just make sure you start by clearing the deck before you put the question into it, to do the reading. So the first way to do that is to just shuffle the cards. Yeah, like you would if you're playing a card game, really. So you shuffle them any way you want. When you're happy that the cards have been shuffled, then you hold them in your hands and you visualize channeling high vibrational energy through them, just to cleanse them and clear them of any negative energy. And then you can also smudge it with sage. You can place a crystal on top under your hand and just hold that there for a few seconds or a couple of minutes. You can knock the deck as well, like that, just to clear anything out of it. And when you're happy that the deck is like, how you want it to be, you could put it in front of your heart and send positive vibrations into it. From you can connect to the deck from your heart center, so that you and the deck are one. And so that when you ask the question and when you receive the card or the cards that are your answer, you know that they are the cards that are directly connected to you and your question, as opposed to anything else. So I'm just going to shuffle them a little bit more again. And ask the question. So that's one card that came out. I'm going to do a 2-card reading. 2 cards came out. Okay. What's interesting actually is the second card that just came out is the card that was stuck in the deck. Like a lot of times when you open a deck and you pull the cards out of the box, you're like, you need to check and make sure there's no card inside, because quite often a card gets stuck inside, either one or two. And when I took the cards out this time, there was a card stuck inside, and I always pay attention to it, just because like it's an important message that is specifically for me as the reader. So if it will be a message that if you're doing a reading for someone else is specifically for you as the reader, not necessarily the other people. And so I took note of that before I put it back into the deck and shuffled it again, as something that I would refer back to after this reading. And it's interesting that card is the second card I pulled out. So yeah, so I'm intrigued to see how that will work in this reading. You know, what will come through about that card for right now. Because when I read the cards, I'm kind of like channeling the answer from elsewhere, from like my higher, more insightful self. Yeah, it's not coming from me, it's coming from somewhere else. I just kind of like go straight into it. So I'm not reading it textbook wise, I'm reading it situationally in the moment as it applies to this question, this reading, and this audience. So I shall begin. The first card is the King of Wands. And as I'm doing this card reading on my phone instead of on my iPad, I'm going to have to turn it round to read it because I can't see it at the same time because it's too small. Okay, so the King of Wands, in this instance, in this card, the King of Wands is a woman, not a man. As I said before, a lot of the characters in this deck are females. So it's a woman. And she's wearing a checkered crown, and she is sitting in a checkered throne. And that makes me think it's like a game. It's like a board game. It's like chess, or it's like drafts. And I'm also thinking about the story Alice in Wonderland and the Queen of Hearts, I think it was, who she ends up having to play that game of, is it chess or croquet with or something? But I'm sure there was a board game there, and for some reason this king really reminds me of that and the film, the movie with Johnny Depp in it. Yeah, so it's that kind of like style and energy and feeling. Yeah, so it's a bit kind of fantasy-like and otherworld-like, as in, you know, poor Alice goes tumbling down the rabbit hole and suddenly she's in this other world with different rules and different people, and it's curious and it's exciting and it's also dangerous, and she is under threat of losing her head if she upsets this queen. So we have a king here, and this king, I'm now thinking, it's like if we upset this king, we're in danger of losing our head. And this king is playing a game with us, and we are on a checkerboard with this king, and this king is in charge, not us. So this is the darkness. The darkness is the checkerboard, the game that we have been thrown into and forced to take part in, and the king is like manipulating us like a pawn on this board game. Yeah, and that's dark and scary, and we have kind of like every rational right to feel a bit afraid by that. And this king has this weird lizard on his, like, she's dressed in white. Yeah, so we think, oh, so she's like of a high vibration, she's good, she's pure, she's spiritual, she's you know, like the color white is the positive energy. Yeah, it's like we use clear and white crystals to raise our vibration, to cleanse our energy, to get rid of dark energy, shadow energy, evil. And black is more about the shadow side and nighttime, and you know, not necessarily bad, but it can be depending on its context. You know, if we're thinking about witches and potions and warlocks and stuff and the devil, then that would be bad. But dark energy, heavy energy. But black can also be powerful, and it can also be cleansing. You know, we use dark crystals again. If we're using like crystals as a reference point, we use dark crystals to cleanse dark energy out of us. So this queen is sitting on this throne, and it's checkered and it's black and white. So the throne is, it's kind of like it's a mixture of things, of like, you know, high and low, and kind of clear quartz and smoky quartz, and like light and high vibrational energy and shadow energy and all of that stuff, and yin and yang, and you know, opposites. And she's dressed in white, in this white robe, which one could see as like priestly and godlike, and of a religious order or whatever, or a cult or a sect. But yet she's got this gecko on her chest, this green lizard across her chest, and other bits of like kind of green that look moss-like or algae-like, really. Kind of like discolouring her sleeves and a bit on her skirt. Yeah, so her outfit looks a bit kind of like messy. Like the lizard's personality and desires and needs and hungers have kind of like leached onto her cleanness, her godliness, her purity, and dirtied her. And so maybe, you know, she, this king, was pure and was like of a good vibration and had good intentions, and then this gecko came along, this lizard, this kind of animal nature, with its animal needs and animal desires, you know, and its kind of narcissistic way of being, its greed. It came along and it infected her and it contaminated her, and now she's like a mixture of all things, and she's not one or the other. And underneath we can see that her stocking is green, and it's almost like she has become, or she is becoming, the gecko, the lizard. And it has red eyes, which makes us think that it is not necessarily good, that it might be evil. And it's sitting like directly down the middle of her chest where all of her buttons are, so it's almost like it's saying it will be her undoing. This lizard will lead to her undoing. And she's holding this wand, and this wand is a you know, a branch from a tree with life growing out of it, with leaves growing out of it. But she's still sitting on this throne, and it's almost like one of her legs wants to get off the throne and walk away, and one arm wants to go too, and it's the opposite arm to the leg, and then the other leg is like grounded and pulling down to stay on the throne, and the other arm is gripping on to the arm of the chair, the arm of the throne, really tightly, like for dear life, like it's not going to leave, it doesn't want to leave. And so there's this push-pull, again, two opposing forces here. And her face doesn't really give much away, it's really expressionless. It's like she is acting like a regent, like a king. And so this is the darkness that you're being faced with right now. This is the darkness that's challenging you. And you're being challenged by this darkness because this darkness has put you on a chessboard and forced you into a game that you do not want to be playing. And so the way through it, the way to navigate it, is by playing the game. Like, you can't avoid the game, you can't not play the game, because the game is being dictated to you by a king, by someone with greater authority than you. So maybe that king is your boss at work, maybe that king is someone you're in a relationship with, so maybe it's a parent who you can't like kind of speak back to or speak your truth to because you know there are authority issues there. Maybe it's a friend who has a louder voice than you, a stronger personality than you, who will not allow you to speak your truth and to walk your path, so you're being manipulated by that person. Maybe it is a health situation where you are stuck trying to figure out what is going on with your body, with your health at the moment, and it just feels like it's a game, because every new doctor you go to, every new specialist you see is then coming up with nothing or another possible scenario, and then sending you to someone else, and you're being thrown here, there and everywhere, and you're not being given any answers, so you don't feel like you're winning this game, but you feel like you have to keep going because the stakes are so high. Maybe it is to do with your emotional health, and it feels like a game of chess because it's so complicated and you can't always move in the same direction. Sometimes you have to take 3 steps at once, sometimes you have to go forwards and then to the side and then backwards, and sometimes you have to capture and take out things, and other times you are the thing that is caught and taken out. So you're winning and you're losing and you're moving and you're going backwards, and it's just a bit of a game, a bit of a mental kind of like mind scramble. I don't want to swear, but it's difficult. So like whatever this darkness is, however it manifests, it is playing a game with you. And we could also see it and put ourselves in the card as a position, so we could say, okay, well perhaps we are the King of Wands and we are stuck sitting on a throne that is a game, that is a chessboard, and we have been invaded by this other force, this kind of animal nature or energy or whatever that is creeping up our chest and is threatening to be our undoing, and we need to find our way back to purity and light and the way of our higher self, and so we need to figure out how to get off that damn throne. So that's my thoughts on that card for now. And then the second card, which was the card that was in the deck when I opened the card that was in the box when I opened it, and this is the card that will tell us, like, how can we move forwards, like what does the future hold for us, what can we kind of point towards in that respect. This card is the Eight of Pentacles. Okay, so it shows a character, a man this time, who makes me think of a cobbler. He looks like a cobbler to me, a cobbler from a storybook. And I think it's because of his like very beautiful pointy shoes. I mean, they're lovely. I would like to prance around my abode in a pair of slippers like those shoes. If they were like soft and satiny, that would be quite fun. So I like his shoes. So there's this man and he's wearing these shoes that I like, And he's got white socks on, white tights on, and he's got a white shirt on. So he's like, his undergarments are white, are high vibrational, and then his shorts are green, and his tunic top is red. So they're kind of in the reverse order, really, because like the red should really be over his behind, because that's the colour of the root chakra, and the green should really be over his chest, because that's the colour of the heart chakra. So they're kind of upside down and in the wrong place, which means that like his heart, his passion, is in his feet right now, is in the footwork that he's doing, and his grounding and his roots and his desire is in the heart work and the arm work that he is doing, and he's bent over this desk that is like a toolmaker's desk or an architect's desk, or a cobbler's desk, and he is working away at these coins, at these pentacles. And 8 is the number of infinity. Yeah, it's like it's going round and round. So 8 is a very powerful number. It's a very positive number. It is a number of repetition and of continuation and of enclosure, because there are 2 circles that are enclosed. There's no space to go out. Things just keep going round and round in a continuous cycle, but all the time that they're going round, they are cleaning and cleansing that kind of energetic channel. And there are also 2 sides to the equation of 8. There's the 2 circles, so you have 2 circles within which to kind of like rest. And pentacles are all about hard work and labour and creation, but in terms of career and work, yeah. So the card is basically saying that the way out of the darkness, the way to navigate your way out of the board game that you are trapped upon, is in freeing yourself financially, is in building your career, is in like working on whatever is your heart's desire, yeah, your passion, is putting the footwork into that, bringing action. So taking what is in your heart and bringing it down to the floor so that you are walking it through. You are doing it, you are taking action, and then taking the strength from your roots, from your root chakra, and bringing that up into your heart so you can use that strength, so that you then have the confidence to act out that desire and to stick with it, because these things are not always easy. Sometimes it's really difficult to get where we want to be, and to do what we want to do, and sometimes it doesn't necessarily work the first time around, and we have to keep at it and keep pushing. And so this card is saying, like, if you keep working really hard and you keep chiseling away at this thing, then you will reveal the gold beneath it. And keep doing the same thing over and over again. Keep looping that circle, that figure of 8. If you keep doing that again and again, it's like that. If at first you don't succeed, try again. And that's, I think, what this card is saying, is just keep trying, believe in yourself and keep trying, and put the work in and follow your passion, follow your desire, whether you have to do that at home, in your own private time, or whether you can do that full time. Like, that's up to your individual circumstances, but just follow that. So if it is a situation to do with work, it's like, how can you get yourself into a better job, a job that suits you better, a job that is more in line with who you are supposed to be and who you are authentically. And if you're in a situation with, you know, a boss or a colleague, and you're feeling that like their energy is dark energy and they're playing mind games with you, then something is telling you that's not the right environment for you and you shouldn't be there. So where could you be instead, and how could you get there? If it's to do with a relationship, maybe financial independence is the way that you get out of that relationship, because then you don't need to rely on it anymore. Or maybe feeling more confident in your career will give you the confidence to stand up to that person and speak your truth instead of being manipulated by theirs, or give you the confidence to break up with that person and not be their friend anymore, or their partner. Maybe if it's to do with your health, the work you need to do is on research and study, or perhaps by becoming a naturopathic doctor or a chiropractor or something, or an acupuncturist, and maybe that will give you the solution that you need so that you can get out of the game of traditional medicine and being a pawn, you know, in that situation, just being pushed from one specialist to the next, one hospital to the next, having to wait to see this person, wait to get that test, and people not communicating with each other, so nobody ever connects the dots. Maybe the solution is that you have to connect the dots. You have to do the work and manifest the rewards, which are the gold coins. Yeah. So maybe it's like by doing the work, it's like you will reveal 8 truths, and these 8 truths will set you free. And if it's to do with your emotional health, then perhaps it's calling upon you to, you know, adopt different spiritual practices, and perhaps there are like 8 things that you could look into and do. 8 different practices, like meditation, for example, yoga, emotional freedom technique, you know, do some energy healing on yourself, change your diet, change the things that you listen to, you know, incorporate more exercise or more nature into your life. I mean, there are many things that you could do, but it's about taking a different approach and taking responsibility yourself, so that you are doing the work. You're not looking to anyone else to do the work, and you're not being ruled by this thing, this chessboard or this king. So I hope that's helped you, and I hope that's given you some answers. I look forward to speaking to you again. If you would like me to do a card reading for you, if you would like a private reading that's only for you, contact me and we can talk about that and booking it in, and whether you want that reading to be face to face, or for me to do a video and send it to you privately so it's just yours, or send me a message and ask me a question, and I'm quite happy to do a video for you, so long as you don't mind that I post that video publicly. So I look forward to hearing from you. If you would like to get in contact with me, you can find me at my website, which is lemonrosepetals.com, and also on Instagram under the same name, Lemon Rose Petals. And I am on Facebook too. You can probably find me under that name, or under my name, which is Rebecca Atherton. And I look forward to catching up with you.